Have you ever had a person troll you online with a nasty comment and you think they are absolutely projecting their shit onto me because I don't know this person and what they're saying has absolutely nothing to do with what I do or said? That's what we're going to talk about on this week's Madge Unmuted. People projecting their stuff on you and what the meaning of Darvo is. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Madge Unmuted. I'm your hostess, Madge Madigan. You know, did you ever hear the saying, drunk words are sober thoughts? Every accusation is a confession. The lady doth protest too much. Those are all sayings that mean people try and project their shit on you, stuff that they have wrong with them. Let me back it up. Not every person, not every time, not every situation. But most of the time, when someone is, say, they're coming after you, or they're going after a person, and they're being really insistent about it. They're insisting on it frequently. It comes out of nowhere. It's especially accusational, like there's not even a discussion. It's you're doing this, and the person seems to be hell bent on doing what, I don't know, admonishing them or punishing them or getting rid of them or whatever the hell it is. Most of the time, that's that person projecting for several reasons. They're either projecting to because they don't even know what the hell they've got going on, so they lash out at other people about something that's deep seated inside them. Sure, we all know folks like that. Then you got the people who do it purposely because they're hiding something, they don't want to get caught. Yeah, there are some people that just are really fucked up and they don't even know, they don't even realize they're doing it. It's on both ends. They don't know they have a problem, they don't know they're doing it. Anyway, so going back to this, the accusations and the confession. So it's a lot of people that were very outspoken on the subject and blaming everybody else in the world. It's one of two things. They're either doing it because it's some sort of self-loathing that they don't like themselves.
For instance,
There's a lot of men that are on the DL, and some will go after gay men because they figure if they posture themselves like being so anti-gay, then no one will ever find out. No one will know. No one would ever think that they were, or whatever. Or they're just self-loathing. I don't know, whatever the hell it is. But anyway, so oftentimes, you'll find out it's the person that is so corrupt that like they're stealing from everybody. Like I know there's been a few religious figures. They've gotten, some politicians, talking about how we need to get these criminals off the street. Meanwhile, they got a whole criminal enterprise going in the background. They're stealing stuff, got Ponzi schemes, getting bribed left and right, trying to, create this facade of, self-righteous, and they're the savior and they're the one that's doing everything right. And we got to get these criminals off the street. All at the same time, it's a smokescreen for all the shit they're doing. That's kind of what that the lady doth protest too much means, which is from Hamlet, William Shakespeare. It's talking about the woman, the character that's a play within a play. The woman is making such a big to-do about being loyal and very dramatic, very exaggerated, talking about being loyal, but meanwhile she's the one that's not being loyal, I think. Yeah, whatever. But that's what it means. Somebody that makes a big to-do about whatever their beliefs are, and a lot of times it's because they're doing the opposite. So this brings me to what made me think of it is, people trolling online, and some people will just get going on stuff unnecessarily that is really nothing and nothing of importance to them. I mean, nothing that has any effect on them. Case in point, we all know I watch a lot of Bravo. I watch a lot of reality TV. I watch some TLC stuff. And every once in a while, not every once in a while, okay, every day, I come across a few accounts, and they will have, real life gossip, or they'll break down the episode, or I just think it's kind of funny and entertaining. But a lot of times I just scroll through it because it's like, oh my god, this is not this deep. We don't I don't need an entire breakdown, because half the time the stuff is just like made up for a plot. But there's also it's stuff that's exaggerated. Also, it's stuff that we don't know three quarters of. We haven't seen three quarters of the things that have happened. Um, I know a lot of people in reality TV. I know a lot of people in radio and TV that I've known over the years because I was in radio and TV. And I just know people that are producers. It's always been talk. The producers kind of they piece together stuff and make it look the way they want it to look. And even if you have like an eagle eye, you'll watch that sometimes they'll put dialogue out of sequence because um, they're recording the person saying something and they have a drink on the table that or their food. That's more because their food drink you can refill, but like their food is half gone. But then they have them say another line, and all of a sudden the food is all there again. And like if you notice small things like that, you'll know that that's a clue that the dialogue has been taken out of out of chronological order, out of sequence, and out of context. So they put this stuff together, but also with those edits they can portray anybody how they want. So anyway, I digress. There's these things online, and people, especially like I go back to the Amanda and Wes Summerhouse cheating scandal, or whatever is the Vanderpump Rules, whatever the thing of the day is. People have these very vehement opinions of things, that very strong opinions, and they are just sure that they know, and it's very, I am right and this is the way it is, and blah blah blah. A lot of times when people do that, it's because they got some shit in their closet. Like, case in point, me, I did this at one point, and it wasn't something I was doing myself, but it was something I had been a victim of. So I remember so it was 2001. What is that? 25 years ago. 25 years ago, I got divorced. And a few months after that, I tried to start dating. So I would talk to a guy, then, I had no idea how to date. People, I was always like, how do you not know how to date? It's totally different when you've been out of the game for a while. So anyway, I'm trying to date. Guys didn't respond to me the way I wanted. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how to play the new game of what do you call it? Internet dating. That had just started. I didn't know, about that the ghosting was just a thing. I guess it was kind of like back to when I had last dated in, 1989, that the guy just didn't call you again for a date. He didn't like you. It wasn't going anywhere. But anyway, so trying to navigate all this shit, and I got very adamant about that there was some other reason behind it. I cringe now at myself, at my dating out of my divorce. But so I was like, you're lying, you're not telling the truth. I know there's somebody else. Whatever. I'm not saying this is exactly what happened, but sometimes when there would be some sort of, I don't know why this guy's not calling me back, or if he's saying, I don't want to go out with you tonight, whatever, I'm always like, you're lying, you're this, that. Well, yeah, I was projecting because that's what I went through with my ex-husband right before, in my marriage leading up to this divorce. That's different than, hiding something that you're doing, but this is projecting insecurities of stuff that's happened to you. And in a way, yeah, stuff that you haven't resolved. Good Lord knows I hadn't resolved that shit within myself. I hadn't healed. I was taking it out on everybody else. So anybody that I met in like 2001 to 2004, sorry. I was a little cuckoo. Um, so yeah, but then so that's the kind of stuff that I see that people now it's what on online that have these hard and fast accusations about people. This is what's going on, and I know Amanda did this, and I know Wes did this, and I know Joe did this, and Teresa did this, and whatever show you watch, and that you are absolutely convinced that you know something with something you're not involved in. And anybody who does that to you, you might want to check that person, because how can you be so sure about something that you're not there like every minute of the day knowing? Like, those are people I have a problem with. I've had people in my life that were very, my mother used to call them, or our parents, anybody else who had older parents, blowhards. They're always blowhards telling you, yeah, all of those politicians up there in the city of Hoboken are they're all crooked. Yeah, they're all, and I know what they're trying to steal my money, whatever. It's an ego thing. So if somebody, they're okay, let me back it up. There's a difference between saying this is exactly what's happening and being mean and nasty about it. There's a difference between saying that and saying, you know, I I just watched this clip and I don't wonder if Joe had been doing this before, because if you look at this, they look at this 3 episodes ago, he was talking to this. Da, 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 da. Hmm, food for thought. There's things like that. Or if you're trying to solve a problem, you're talking through things and saying, well, now here's some evidence that that I've seen or that I've heard, not just anything, not reality TV or whatever. Here's some things that I know that, but it's when somebody comes to you with things. So for one, my ex-husband, he was always like, you're doing this and you're doing that. And it was either a smoke screen to prevent something that he was going to do or was doing behind bars, or if it's when I approached him about something. Now, there's a term for this. It's called DARVO, DARVO, and that means deny. It's a defense that people use either in the courtroom or in regular life or whatever. DARVO, DARVO, deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. So the way I found out about this, has anybody ever seen the movie Where's My Roy Cohn? Oh my God, you have to watch this, and you will say, oh my God, I know that person. And one of Roy Cohn's very famous clients, you will see this is this person, and this person has admitted Roy Cohn was their mentor. And so, look, I'll just say it, Trump. He freely admits in many, many places that Roy Cohn was his mentor. They were very close. He was his lawyer for a while. Roy Cohn had that Darvo defense, and you watch him in Roy Cohn was involved in very famous cases over time. He started out in well, I'm gonna botch it because the law thing is very intricate, and the titles that he has, I'm going to screw up. But anyway, one of the first things he got recruited to help on was the Joe McCarthy, Senator McCarthy hearings. Do you know what that was? That was the Red Scare in the 50s, where they were trying to find anybody that they thought was a communist, and whether they had any real evidence or not, they were just going to nab them and figure it out later. Not even figure it out later, just nab them and get them on this Hollywood blacklist or whatever industry blacklist. So I know that's happening in a few areas of our life now in the United States. Just nab people first and ask questions later. So in this Red Scare, Roy Cohn was enlisted the help of doing this. Now, Look it up, the Red Scare, the anti-communism thing. They were just your life was ruined if they even thought that you were a communist or somebody else named you. They were just, anybody they didn't like. Oh yeah, he's a communist. To get rid of him, get him out of whatever, get back at him. So he was involved in that. The also other thing he was involved with was the spy trial of Julius and Ethel Rosenberg. They were a Jewish couple that lived in the United States, and they were accused of spying. And it's a very famous case. And anyway, some people still say that they're not guilty. Some say they are guilty. Some it was either way. It was a highly controversial case, and they were hanged. They were put to death. But the strange thing about Roy Cohn is that he was Jewish. His parents were from, I don't know, I don't remember what they were Eastern European Jewish. He was gay, secretly gay, um, and he was short and ugly. So he had, that total inferiority thing that he was going to wreak havoc on everybody else's life. And that gave him power. But it's also odd the people that he took it out on or that were his victims. Um, that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, he was he was like a classic example. So this deny, attack, and reverse victim offender. First, okay, say my ex-husband used to do this. So I would go to him and say, look, I think there's something going on with you and this woman from work. Deny. No, there's not. I don't know what you're talking about. Then attack. You're crazy. You're just so jealous. I can't even believe, like, what is wrong with you? You're just saying this because, like, you're always so you sit on the couch and do nothing all day, and just he would just go into a laundry list of everything that was wrong with me and attack me, even open up a whole new subject, just start bringing up something that I did. um well, this house is so goddamn messy, blah, 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 blah. Then the reverse victim and offender, if I would try and reel him in back to, like, look, I know what I've seen, here's the phone bill with all these calls all hours of the night to her. um Reverse victim and offender, it would be, you're just saying that because you just don't. Now this is a hard one, because this is a hard one to for me to explain. I saw it on a show last night, and I should go there instead. But yeah, sure, always blame everything on me. Yeah, oh yeah, you just go ahead and tell me that. Yeah, everything's always wrong with me, and like you just love to do that. You point out everything that's wrong with me, and I can't believe you do this. That's all of a sudden you've reversed the victim and the offender. Donald Trump has said this is his MO. And whether it's been something, a business deal, something illegal, whatever, something bad, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's something, whatever he wants to work to his advantage. So don't go on the defensive. He's self-admittedly used this tactic his whole life. When anybody tries to pin him down on, even as much as a business deal back in the 70s, someone would say, yeah, I know, I heard you were talking to this other realtor, and that they were trying to take this deal out from under me. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, if you would, you're just, if you pay attention to your own stuff, blah, 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 and then, hey, you just want to get me out of this deal, don't you? That's the kind of crap I'm talking about. So this drives me fucking crazy, and I've come to reconciliation with about it, because I had a couple people do it to me in real life, and they've done it to me recently in the past couple of years. And Even so, like in the past 6 months, and I've gotten to such a point where I had just walked away from this situation a long time ago because I was just like, I don't need this. I know what's going on. Then later, tried to kind of, have a making up, and I tried to have a very earnest conversation. That person went right to, oh, well, I heard you did this. I knew right then and there. And believe me, I did absolutely nothing wrong. You may think I'm very slick in employing this, but I'm not. I knew, like, and everybody that knows me knows that, like, I did nothing wrong. I was blindsided by something, and I just left. I just left this, got out of the situation. That was it. So this person started doing this right away, and I was like, I will get nowhere with this. I'm just gonna be polite and call it a day and be like, okay, you know what? For whatever I did, I'm sorry, and leave it at that. Because there's nothing you can do. I could take it back. There is something you can do, even if you have receipts and shit. But most likely, the person is never gonna cop to it. There's this other show I was watching last night. On TLC. I hate this show. I'm not even going to admit to watching it, but just the only reason I've been watching it lately is because they have this kind of person on there. And I want to see if anybody ever calls him out on it. And this kid is always telling, he's very self-righteous. He's married into this family, and he's young. They're like 23, 24. And he's telling all these people that are much older than him, all of a sudden he's this sage, experienced in love. He'd never had a relationship before that I know. They never even kissed before they got married. They knew each other for like 3 months. It's one of those religion, super fundamental religion things. So anyway, now all of a sudden he's been married for a month, and he's the relationship expert. And so, but then they were saying that, oh, all you people are making fun of us and judging us. Meanwhile, he's doing it to everybody. So they call him out on it. Of course, he does oh, okay, I'm the one that everybody has a problem with. Yeah, okay, sure, cool. I'll just not come around then. That's the victim and offender. This kid cannot admit to anything ever, and will not. And that, my friends, is also what we call a narcissist. If you know someone that can never admit to anything wrong, can do no wrong, they make themselves the victim, and the offender. They start attacking you, even if it's when something they did wrong. Also, in the denial and the attack will also, um, that kind of is a little under a little umbrella of gaslighting. So then when they start to make you believe what you know is true is not really what is true, that is gaslighting. It's that flip around, not just denying, not just a denial, a lie is not gaslighting. It's when they try and flip everything around to make you think that you're crazy. Um, my ex-husband did that a lot. And it was like, wait, am I going crazy? And I've had other friends that talk to me about it, and they'll say, well, my wife did this, my husband, my boss, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I was there. They're trying to gaslight you. Just, I don't have an answer of how to handle these people. It just depends on the situation. But most of these people, if it's not something worth arguing, just fucking walk away. If it's something that, like a court case, hope you have a good attorney, because they apply the Roy Cohn thing, you're most likely screwed. Oh, you know what? I wanted to just go step back a minute about the Roy Cohn thing. And oftentimes, a lot of these people that are doing things wrong, this is in the, I know that I'm doing some really shady, shitty stuff, but I'm going to paint this picture of myself that I'm pure as the driven snow and holier than thou and yada yada out of that playbook. Because, like I said, there's other playbooks that people just have no idea what they're doing. Deep down inside, maybe it's someone who's deep down inside are gay and they're not really sure, but they know subconsciously, like they've already talked themselves into not liking it, or it's not appropriate, or someone in their life made them think that way. They will, constantly attack. Everybody always knows that joke. It's like, when somebody online is particularly attacking gay people, is an extreme homophobe, people are always like, yep, he's gay. That's judging, but a lot of times people project their deep-seated hatred. Oh, let's not even get into the whole racist thing. People are racist, a lot of them just because they were taught to be that way. But then there's some other things that, I don't know, I'm not even going to go into it. When somebody's doing something bad on purpose, like for a really obvious one, old timey gangsters, the mob, like in The Godfather, all those other gangster movies. And especially if they were, Irish, Italian, any other, ethnicity, okay, Irish and Italian, because they were Catholics, you would see them. They would go to church every Sunday and let everyone see them putting, $100 bill into the collection plate, or getting in good with the Monsignor, getting in good with the Cardinal, and even doing a few little, paying the old widow, paying her rent, just doing these stuff for show, because they're trying to cut. Well, this is what this Roy Cohn did. Like, he would get involved with every self-righteous, high and mighty, person of power that he could, even if it wasn't his religion. It's really kind of weird that he was really in good with, he was tight with Cardinal Spellman, who is a big, high and mighty Catholic cardinal in New York, in the I was 40s, 50s, I guess. And then let's see, he was also Joe McCarthy. He made sure to get on the right side of that one so that nobody attacked him. I mean, that's the thing. You put up this shield to hide behind the other side and say, yeah, they're the bad ones, so that nobody comes at, no one notices you. So yeah, and then he really buddied up to J. Edgar Hoover, and that has said to have had a double-sided effect, because one, everybody wanted to be on J. Edgar Hoover's good side, because he was the head guy in the FBI. And it took me on FBI, CIA, FBI. I think it was actually called something else. It was this called before his FBI when he started. I mean, he was like 50 years he was in charge of this shit. So he got in tight with him. But then also, J. Edgar Hoover was allegedly gay. There's a whole lot of accounts that says he was. Roy Cohn told somebody he was, and even people, it's when these people are on the down low about something, whether it's illegal activity or being gay or whatever, they'll let some of their secrets slip sometime, because they're secretly very proud of themselves for getting over on people. And you've also heard the other saying, drunk words are sober thoughts. So when somebody starts going off on something you don't normally hear them say, and they're very emphatic about it, check that out, because that might be what they really feel in real life. Like a guy that acts like he loves his wife. A guy that acts like he loves his wife when he's out in public, and then he's home and he gets drunk, and even somewhere else and gets drunk, and he starts, the wife's a piece of shit and blah 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 to her. Then yeah. Anyway, so J. Edgar Hoover and Roy Cohn. So it was rumored that Roy had access to some of the same circles that J. Edgar Hoover did, and there were there were all kinds of blackmail going on back then, and and I guess even it was rumored that, guys in the mob had photographs of J. Edgar Hoover. I don't know. There's lots of blackmailing going on back then. But people, will often align themselves with someone who is at the pinnacle of the opposition. It goes along with the old saying, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. A lot of these sayings that people have been saying for centuries, they say them for a reason. Just think of that. Some are not. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's mostly bullshit, but then some people it is. I mean, that's like once a cheater, always a cheater. Jury's out. But a lot of times, the other shit still goes. Like, speaking of sayings, throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't really have any idea what that means. My mother used to say it all the time, and I fucking love it. I guess what it really means is throw the baby out with the bathwater is like, well, now don't, jump to conclusions. Or, just because one part of this thing went wrong, don't throw the whole thing out the window and quit just because this one little thing went wrong. We can take care of this. Or, to that effect. Or like, you're in a group and one person's being a jerk to you and you're like, I'm going to quit this whole group. Well, now let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can still make something good out of this. Anyway, that's where these come from. So anyway, let me know down in the comments if you have ever been exposed or subjected to, I should say, this projection behavior or this Darvo behavior. But I can tell you, we all see it every day online. People shade. I've had it. People will shade me. Guarantee you there'll be some shit in the comments down in this video, or if I post a clip of this on social media, somebody will put something, or like anytime it's just random stuff that has nothing to do with anything I'm talking about, and they just want to say you're old and fat and ugly. Okay, grandma, whatever. It's like, you have a problem. I know I'm not, the youngest, the most beautiful, the whatever, but one, I don't really care, and I don't know why you don't even know me. I don't know you have a problem with me. Why you have a problem with me? So anyway, notice these things, and also see if you can see some patterns in your everyday life of people doing it to you. Also, I would beg you to do this if you see yourself doing it. Please, really, it'll improve your life. It'll help you live with more integrity. It'll help you get along better with other people and have more productive, lovely relationships with people, and in anything you do in life. At a job, let me tell you, people like it when you say, you know what, my fault, I did wrong. People hates the person that never does anything wrong. Oh, I don't know, it was him. I don't know what you do. We all hate that person. Anyway, almost hit my head there. That's it for this week's Madge Unmuted. Please subscribe. It really helps me. It helps me to keep the lights on, keep the recording going. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe, share, and like with your friends. Leave reviews. Also visit my merch shop. I got some fun stuff in there. If you have a graduation coming up, 4th of July, I don't know, maybe I'll make a fun 4th of July shirt. That would really help. Share on social media and follow me on all my socials. So thank you in advance. And hopefully we'll see you next week on the next episode of Madge Unmuted. Bye.